welcome back to me, myself, OD, sat speaking, thinking my words are important. Well, not thinking my words are important, but saying them anyway. Right, I thought I would kick today's chill off with one of my old reviews. I've read a couple of these before from an old blog post I had. So far, I've read the Street Fighter 2 animated movie review and the Man of Steel review. Now I'm going to go for the Batman vs Superman review. Have I read another? Did I read? I didn't. Mm, yeah, maybe I have. I don't know. Can't remember. Let's have a look. Anyway, right. So Batman vs Superman, Dawn of Justice. Okay. After watching Man of Steel earlier this day and waxing lyrical about how it was a great debut for the DCEU, which it was, yeah, it was, I agree, I watched Batman vs Superman. This, my friends, did not follow suit. Ooh, ominous. The film was pretty much how you would expect a superhero versus film to play out. Good guy versus good guy, then good guys versus bad guy. No problems there. How could it go wrong? Yes, how could it? The opening scenes feature a young Bruce Wayne at his parents' funeral and then falling into a cave and seeing some bats. Boom! Batman's origin covered. Yeah, I suppose this is our introduction to the new Batman in, DCEU. I think it's Ben Affleck's first Batman film. The first half of this rather long movie is spent letting us know that public opinion on Superman had shifted. Perhaps his dad was correct after all, and that some folk would like him gone or at least restrained. Luckily for this demographic, the Bat agrees and getting his butler Alfred Pennyworth to begin work on his Superman Buster suit while he acquires himself a bit of information and kryptonite before setting off to find the boy from Kansas, Clark Kent. While Batman is gearing up, journalist Kent is simultaneously trying to get the Daily Planet to publish some anti-Bat material. I find this a tad odd given the current flack his vigilante superhero real identity is getting at this time. Perhaps trying to pass the buck? Yeah, that's probably what he was trying to do, trying to take the heat off Superman. Maybe it lets on to that in the film, I can't remember. So while our two main guys are already on a collision course, Lex Luthor is behind the scenes making those stakes much higher. This evil genius has amassed himself the body of Zod, the Man of Steel's former Kryptonian adversary. Was it his? Yeah, it was his adversary from the first film, from Man of Steel. And through some genetic malpractice, creates himself a biological superweapon, the Desecration Without Name. Ooh. After a tragedy occurs, Kent takes himself into isolation only to be lured back out by Luthor's wicked deeds. With that, the good guys match up and one of them defeats the other. Okay, it's probably not the best English. We are treated to some in-your-face Easter eggs, letting us know about our future Justice League friends, Cyborg, Flash, and Aquaman. Pretty sure there's a Green Lantern thing in there as well, is there not? All a bit forced, really. Yes, things have become much more forced since then, my young friend. In due course, we are introduced to Diana Prince, aka Wonder Woman, who makes up our mini Justice League team in the ultimate battle against Luthor's monster. Doomsday? Question mark. Maybe? Question mark. While the film ends with a storyline that was worldwide news when it was originally printed in the comics, there is nothing about this film's climax or ending that warrants the same coverage. Okay, right, so what I'm alluding to there is, because it doesn't say it's Doomsday, but it bloody looks like Doomsday, doesn't it, in the film? And it's called The Desecration Without Name. Is that something that's in the comics? The Oh, I'm messing this up. Without name. Okay, it's popping up. The Desecration Without Name is a name given to the character Doomsday. Doomsday is a monstrous creature created by Lex Luthor using forbidden Kryptonian. Wait, is that true? Is that like his original origin story? Well, one of his origin stories. I'm pretty sure he's got plenty. I mean, I'm not well versed in my comic book lore, but okay. I like the Desecration Without Name. It's a cool name, even though his name's Doomsday or Zod. But you know, still. So yeah, Doomsday. Right. I don't know. I just feel like, is that from the comics? Hence, when describing Doomsday to Lex Luthor, it claimed that the monster was so hateful to sight and memory that it would only refer to it as the Desecration Without Name. However, due to Doomsday's feral mind, he has limited intelligence. Right. DCEU, Extended Universe. Doomsday Comics. Pretty sure he's an alien. Let's just have a. Originally known as the Ultimate Doomsday, was born in prehistoric times on Krypton. Right, that's all I need to see. He's not created. I mean, was a version created by Luthor, maybe for the DCEU, which can be its own universe somewhere. Anyway, back to this. So yeah, then what else I'm talking about here? Well, the film ends with a storyline that was worldwide news when it was originally printed in the comics. The death of Superman. It was like printed in. I'm pretty sure it was on the front page of like some UK newspapers when Superman was killed off. Those were the times. Anyway, yeah. Character-wise, I think we best start with our debutant Batman. I feel like it should be a commoner. Ben Affleck. Our debutant Batman. Ben Affleck. Okay. I feel like he got a bit of negative press for his portrayal as the Cape Crusader, and while I will say his Bruce Wayne perhaps desired some more attention, I really enjoyed his bat. His suits, his voice, and his fighting skills were some of my favourite aspects of the movie, alongside having possibly the only real dialogue of note. Lines like, "Do you bleed?" Get me every time. Yeah, they do. Cheese, but good. This was a chance for the DCEU to flesh out Superman's character, but other than him diving into a bath with Lois Lane, we had little character expansion. Lane continues where she left off in The Man of Steel as reporter going those extra miles, and Wonder Woman forcefully introduces herself on screen to show us some brilliant moves. Still, the only other character of note outside of our two antagonists is probably the most interesting character, and that is Lex Luthor. Depicted by Eisenberg as an eccentric, manipulative, genius billionaire with a god complex, I feel this youthful Luthor is out of place for the deeds he pulls off here. But still, he is a well-played part. Yeah, so what I'm saying there is like it could have been the older, the older Luthor doing these pretty, very maniacal deeds. I have a few favourite aspects. I have a few favourite aspects of this film alongside Batman's visage. Visage? Yeah. Oh no, there's no G in visage. I don't even know what that visuals alongside Batman's meh. The fighting in general was fairly decent, with the highlights being the Batman vs Superman fight that culminated in what I found to be the single most interesting point of storytelling. That being when Superman invoked the name Martha at the climax of his battle with the Bat. This was good. Another visual aspect I particularly enjoyed was Wonder Woman's fighting style. There really is plenty wrong with this film, starting with everything about the narrative. Firstly, every Batman should probably have an origin film. I feel the Bat vs Soup story should have come further down the line in down the ECU world building line. I feel they forced a quote unquote civil war on us. Additionally, our final boss, apparently Doomsday, and the deeds that he commits really should have played out in their own film, not a final sequence. Another gripe of mine is the music, specifically Wonder Woman's score. While the fighting skills on show are great, the guitar riffs really don't work for me. I am a fan of the epic Hans Zimmer orchestral stuff. Yeah. While DC still have more than enough source material to pick decent stories from, this film did a good job of showing us their flimsy cinematic universe building attempts and how they were willing to throw some of their most iconic stories under the bus. Doomsday. Yeah. In conclusion, it is not a great film. The action sequences are good, but at 3 hours long with a storyline you could have guessed before watching it, I am not sure I would recommend it to anybody. Damning. That said, if you are wanting to polish off all the parts related to the Justice League's Snyder Cut film, you'll probably have to watch it for some of the additional Easter eggs in there. Overall rating 3. Whoa. Visual 4. And narrative 2. Okay, yeah, brutal. There you have it. That's pretty damning.